Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. I am so excited to be sitting down with Megan. Thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, no, the pleasure is all. I was gonna say pleasure is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. Anyways, Megan, why don't we start us off? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your Sims history?
Well, hi everyone. I'm Megan, aka Royals of Heart over on Instagram. I've been playing The Sims for the past 3 years. For the past 3 years. I'm 18 years old and I live in the beautiful Yorkshire countryside within
Oh,
the UK.
oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love my UK summers. You guys are I want to be in the UK. I've always that's my dream trip is to go.
Pick summer when the weather's not crap.
Yes, as a fellow Commonwealth country fellow over here, I'm from Canada, so I got you. The snow here, like we had a snowstorm 3 days ago, and for any context, this was in April. We had 29 degrees Celsius on Saturday. I got a sunburn, and then 3 days later we had a
Wow.
snowstorm. It was like welcome to Ontario Springs. But you said that you started playing The Sims 3 years ago. Have you only ever played Sims 4?
Yes. I've not played Sims 3 or Sims 2, but
Or
or Sims 1, but
yeah.
I was hoping to, but I've just not had the time.
A question I like to ask Simmers who only ever played the most recent iteration of The Sims. If Origins ever came out with the original Sims or The Sims 2, would you play it? Would you download it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. If it was free, of course. I'm not paying those prices.
Well, Megan, I love your optimism. You're so sweet. There is no way that Origins would put those games out for free. I feel like they would be like exclusive, limited edition, remastered, 600 pounds. And
Well, I use the EA app.
oh,
Well,
okay.
it was Origin for about a few months last year, but I
Yeah.
use the EA app now.
Yeah. Because it was Origin, because like if you're playing on computer, you either do Origins or stream, or I guess you could even buy it as well. I've never actually seen Sims 4 discs, like game discs in the wild. Have you ever seen them?
Yes, because I play it on my
Really?
console.
Oh, okay, for console. Yes, PC. I've never seen PC versions of The
No.
Sims 4. I've never seen it. It's so funny you say that. So my brother-in-law works at a thrift store. So look at this.
Wow,
That's
that is a lot.
right. Okay, so that was the last batch. This was his like super last one. Like look at all this. It's just
Oh,
sitting.
wow, wow.
I know, right? And like I got like I've been on the hunt to find oh, for anybody who's listening, by the way, I am showing old game discs that my brother-in-law found me, but I have The Sims Unleashed, which is probably one of my favorite expansion packs. Now, well, since we're talking about expansion packs, do you have any of the Sims 4
Yes,
expansion? Do
I
you
have
have them
all
all?
of them.
You have all of
Well,
them.
yeah, I have all of them.
Okay. Do you have Growing Together?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Pain in the backside.
Yeah.
Infants.
I
Those eyes. Horrible.
so I actually have not played with infants. I That's not part of my gameplay experience. Anyone I've talked to that plays with infants has said that they have been absolutely atrocious and just kind of like stuck to
Temperamental.
you.
Glitchy.
Temperamental. And like, let's be honest, like we knew that was coming. Like EA has never followed through on a promise and finished it. Let's
Cash
talk
grab.
cash grab. Absolutely, of being just like, look, like we'll give you infants for storytellers, and they just really didn't, in my opinion, hold up. But the build buy is amazing, and I feel like
That
that's
is
something.
true.
I feel like I keep saying this because I was at work today, and I love meeting simmers in the wild. I love it. There's so many of us. If you ask anybody, have you ever played The Sims? Most people will say yes. So
Mm.
we just struck up a conversation because she was asking me about like what do I do in my spare time? And I'm like, well, let me tell you. I run a podcast and all that great stuff. So we were talking about the new expansion pack, and we were talking about, oh, like the build buy is amazing. I would say the build buy was really good for werewolves. I would say the build buy was really good for growing together. Build buy was really good for my wedding stars. But why are we not saying anything else?
Gameplay.
Yeah, we're not saying the gameplay is phenomenal.
There.
Right. I love the builders community. You guys are amazing, but there's other aspects to the Sims that's not built by. I really wish EA would take a minute and focus on that. Megan, what are your thoughts?
Personally, I think they could do a much better job.
I agree. What do you think that they could improve?
Oh, let me think. Not going for cash grabs.
Yes. I'm so concerned for microtransactions. Like, I really feel like that's the next step that they're going to introduce, because I feel like at this point, kits are kind of microtransactions. I like how you're yawning at kits. Do you own any kits?
Yes.
Do you like the kits?
No. Well, I'm going to have to say yes and no there. Some of them, absolutely not. But
Yeah.
some, I do.
I agree. I stood on this hill that kits suck for years now. I feel like they're getting better. Like the only reason I bought a bunch of kits recently is because I'm in a part of a lot of builders collabs again, and can't use CC as someone who uses CC all the time, and I know you use CC as well.
Oh,
I
have a lot of CC.
Right? So,
and I don't know where I'd be without it.
Oh, I don't know where I'd be without you, but we'll get to that in a little bit later in this podcast. So when it comes to kits, like, I kind of feel like it's content creation. Oh my gosh, I'm staring at words. It's basically CC for console players, but for the rest of us, we can kind of just download it if we're console, or if we're not vanilla. But like some of the later, like the newer kits are really good. Like, I really liked Everyday Clutter. I really wish they would have included the bathroom clutter with, like, to me that was a cash grab. And I haven't even looked at the 2 kits that came out this week. I heard they're really good. I'll probably will eventually get them, or maybe hopefully win them, or someone gift them to me. I'll even take that as an option as well. If someone wants to just like, hey, Stoss, love what you do, send you a kit. But let's talk about your love-hate relationships with kits. Like, in your opinion, what are they missing, and what would make you more excited for them?
They're basically just stuff packs that lack stuff. I like the cast ones that are the best. They should just focus on stuff packs. Or who knows, even make more better game packs or expansion packs.
Exactly. Like, EA last year came out and said, like, we didn't forget about stuff packs. Don't worry. Like, stuff packs will be back. They're full of shit. The last game pack that came out was Paranormal.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
No, it was either just before or after my 16th birthday, I believe.
Yeah, it came out in March 2021.
I thought it was January.
No,
or it could be January in the UK.
If I had my phone, I was pretty sure, because I was on Simstagram. I was very new at the time, because I literally took the day off because I thought, I didn't know at the time, this is how new I was, that kits and all the game packs come out in California time. So that's 1 p.m. for myself. So that would be 6 p.m. for you. So
depends what type of season it is, like the different time zones. It's just confusing.
Right? So I was like, okay, well, I was like, that's so, because I remember, because I did this whole Scooby-Doo themed stuff around. I built the original cast of Scooby-Doo, pup named Scooby-Doo, all the villains, the Hex Girls, and I built the haunted castle the intro, Scooby-Doo, where are you? When
Yeah.
yeah. So I built that and going all around the paranormal. And I remember waking up at like 9 a.m. my time being like, where's the kit? Where is it? And then and they're like, oh, it's coming out at like 1 p.m. my day. I was like, I could have gone to work today and got paid instead of, I mean, did I enjoy the day off? Absolutely. But yeah, I really, really miss stuff packs. I wish they would just take 2 kits, make it into a stuff pack,
Exactly.
right? Like take a theme. Like or okay, so like do a cast stuff pack and a build stuff pack, put it together. Let's explore things. So let's take for an example the basement one that just came out that everybody's talking about the basement kit and everyone's talking about the green out kit, whatever. But let's do a basement one. So let's do like you all your shit you have in your basement that you forget about that.
I don't have a basement. I don't know what it's about. But I know people who have basements, but I
Yes,
don't.
it's a very westernized thing to have because
Yeah.
like I have a basement and right now it's just filled with all my wedding shit and my laundry. That's literally what my basement is. But usually you use basement for storage or an additional room. And a lot of places like people have their basements finished. It could be like an entertainment room or something like that. But anyways, long story short, so we have all the cool basement shit. And then like what if we had like lazy Sunday clothes? So like, you know, like your sweatpants and like your t-shirts and sweaters or just kind of like stuff like that. I think that would be way more fun than having just 2 kits that they literally announced like this week. Like they gave like no notice. I had no idea they were coming out until someone messaged me being like, "Did you see the disassembled heart-shaped bed from the original Sims?" And I was like, holy shit.
Woohoo object or something like that. I can't quite remember. I've seen videos about it, but I've never experienced it
Yeah,
or
so
playing with it.
that is the most iconic Sims object ever, is the heart-shaped bed from, I think it was from the Living Large expansion pack or the base game in the original Sims. So that is like way back in the original games, like there wasn't really any fun beds. So that was like the only super fun bed. And it would vibrate. You could literally get it to vibrate. And that was like, but like you don't realize it as a kid, that's what it was. But it was just so iconic. Like everybody. Like,
Here's another one for you.
yeah,
The giant
exactly.
birthday cake.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The birthday cake with the lady dancing. But these are just like classic, iconic objects that you just really don't see in the Sims 4 anymore. Like what do you think is an iconic object from the Sims 4?
I don't know there because I don't really play with the objects to say. Like I create shells, I create rooms, but
Okay.
I don't. I create shells of palaces. Like the latest palace I've built is wow. I wish I could furnish it, but it just makes my game glitchy.
Mm,
But it's hard to say there. The objects that can cause deaths are probably the funniest.
okay. What is your favorite object then that like causes funny deaths?
Well, I'd say the death flower.
The death flower. Okay, which one's that?
It's one of the
Oh,
garden flowers that you put it in a bouquet or something like that, and then give it to someone, it ages them up. If it's an elder you don't like, you can just get rid of them there and then.
huh. Interesting. I I've never heard of that death. I think the funniest death I've seen and I've experienced is from the Murphy bed, where it just
That is
like
true.
where it like falls on you and you're just like and you're like dying. I've died from embarrassment and I've died from flies as well. So I had to turn death off because there was just like a span of like 6 months that like every sim I built was dying. every time I turn my laptop on. And I would just be like, no, no, please, 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 please. That does not allow for my gameplay. Well, if they're so we're talking about funny objects. We're talking about what object do you wish was in The Sims 4 that is currently not there?
Mm, that is very hard. I can't say because there's just so many objects that they already have, and there's so many objects that they don't have that they need.
Right?
Cars, planes, helicopters, all
So
them.
there are planes and debugged.
Oh yeah, and so are cars, but you can't use them.
No, I know. I'm currently in Rose Chronicles. I'm doing a bunch of scenes at an airport, and I was like, "Holy shit! There's planes and debugged, and like there's a bunch of cars. I kind of wish they were more playable. If there were drivable cars in The Sims, is that something that you think is lacking?
Yes.
Would
Or
you?
open world. I know it's not exactly an object, but it's a thing that could be useful.
Yeah, okay. Like I stood on here. I was like, I want an open world. I want an open world. But I don't know if my computer can handle an open world. My computer can barely handle opening this game on a good day,
True.
let alone
Same.
um adding that type of customizability and that like that bit. And the problem is we love this game. No matter if we are not a fan of EA, like we love this. But it's a very expensive game
It
to play.
is.
And like you kind of get cost out of it very quickly because so you spend $1,000 on this game. I've never played a game that wasn't like a Dungeons and Dragons or a Warhammer. That's like $1,000 full price. Like that is
Yeah,
that's a lot, right? And then you have to get a computer that
exactly.
can custom. So you're looking at another couple thousand, maybe for a good gaming laptop or a good or a starting gaming PC. Like that is a commitment to just play one game.
Mm.
And that's not a lot of gamers don't just play one game. They play lots of games. So I don't know. I just kind of that's my kind of like my grind. Like I love this game, but I'm getting priced out of being able to play
Oh
this
yeah.
game, which will now bring it to CC. I fucking love CC. CC is the best, especially when it comes to casts and items that are
Oh,
missing.
agreed.
Oh my god, like
Ball gowns I put on my Sims for
oh,
events. They are so gorgeous.
right? I've just started doing a little bit of it's not even royal, but I just did a bunch of like Rose Chronicle like back scenes of like flashbacks and stuff. And it was so cool to like put them in like all these like different like royalty outfits and all that stuff. And I really think that's missing from The Sims in my personal opinion. I'm gonna ask you this question, and you're gonna spoiler alert, you're gonna hear the same question tomorrow during the Royal Roundtable. But what if The Sims was coming out with a royal expansion pack? What would you want in there and why?
Crowns, excuse me, coronations, ball gowns for princesses, queens gowns, more
All
children's stuff,
yes,
toddlers.
all amazing options because everything that comes for royals, I'm sorry, needs to be CC.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Mm.
There's nothing. There is no ball gowns. There's
No.
absolutely nothing.
Well, to their defense, there is gowns, but I would more class them as evening gowns.
Yeah, they're very like I think the closest one I could think of is like anything princessy was the dress that they gave for the Christmas gift a couple years ago. Kind of looks like Elsa's dress.
My wedding stories has one.
A ball gown? Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're right. They have some nice dresses, like some very nice, but I want like Cinderella. You can't even walk through the fucking doorway because there's
Flipping.
yeah, like just massive, massive, massive ball gowns. But I think that's all really good. You spoke about coronations. Like there's lots of coronation post packs. I kind of wish as well if that was something that the EA would start implementing, are poses and being able to, I would buy pose packs if EA
Yeah,
them out there. I
no
mean, there's
change.
so many amazing pose packs out there. Any storyteller, if you're not playing with pose packs, um,
You need to.
you need
You need.
to like stop listening to this and go literally download Sims 4 pose because there's poses for everything.
Well,
Like
not everything. There's some that you want, but you don't have, and you can't create them because you don't know how.
yes. Okay, that is okay. We're gonna put an asterisk. Yes, I could not agree more. You know what I was looking at, what I'm still actually looking for is pouring gasoline on the ground pose. There's nothing out there.
I think they have one or something or something similar in one of the mods. The kill wicked no,
Wicked,
not wicked no uh violence mod.
yeah.
I can't quite remember what it's called off the top of my head.
See, I don't want to. Like the thing is, I just want to pose. I don't want to mod.
Mm,
I'm lazy when it comes to that. It's just
stay
because I.
posed. Don't go off and do something else. That gets
Oh,
annoying.
oh yeah, 100. Like, that's I know because like if it's not a pose and it's a mod, yeah, they'll 100% go do. That's why I'm like, anytime I do now, I'll set it up like a movie set and I'll do like pose, 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 pose,
Mm,
pose, and I'll literally take them from scene to scene to scene to scene to pose. Like they have no free will, like
no,
zero free will.
aging is off. I've had Sims die and age up at the same moment I'm posing them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you get from not turning aging off. But now it is off.
Yes, or turning death off because that you can do that cheat as well. You can just go in and
Obviously.
toggle death off. It's a huge time
Mm,
saver, especially if you don't want your sim stacks. I know some storytellers do enjoy like having that creativity, being like, "Oh, well, my Sims died. I guess I'll have to rate it." Nah, not this girl. This is I tell my
no.
Sims when they die, or
I've
I just move them to my gallery if I can't play with them.
yes.
Yes.
Back up regularly. I've found multiple times, time and time again. Game crashes on you if you've spent 3 hours building a palace or building a family, and then suddenly the game crashes and you haven't had time to save it. You're like, excuse me, work.
Right? Okay. You know what I want? I don't want another kit. I want fucking autosave. How are we in a world that EA doesn't have fucking the Sims 4 doesn't have
Yeah,
autosave? Like we're bringing people to space him back in the same day, but yet we can't get an autosave every 15 minutes. That would be awesome. Or even every half an hour, even. Now I just go in every time before because I had this really bad glitch, and I don't know if you've had it or any of these listeners, if you've had it as well. Please let me know that sometimes you'll just go to a lot and it just will never open. And it's like the one specific
I
lot that just will never open, and it's so frustrating.
I haven't experienced that yet.
Oh my god. It's for me, it's the lot in cats and dogs. It's like Reeby's doll's house. It's a 20 by 15 lot. So I did a collab on that lot and it never opened. I couldn't actually build my collab on that lot. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it sit. I let it sit for 3 hours and 17 minutes as it was trying to load the screen. It just never loaded. I put an IT ticket in or an EA ticket, so I expect to hear back from them probably about 2035. So I don't know. It's annoying. Like, have you ever come across anything that you're just like super broken besides infants that you had to
Yes.
put a ticket in?
Well, not I've never had to put a ticket in, but I've had the game break on me. Like last year, I downloaded the high school years when it first came out,
Yeah,
but it made my game glitch and it wouldn't load. So I had to then delete the game, then re-download it without it.
that's so annoying.
And then I
Again,
found it was because of a mod,
yeah. It's usually see
a
that's why
career mod.
vanilla players will always be like, Stops, this is why you don't play with mods. But like
Yeah.
I know, but like I wish the game wasn't broken that I didn't need to have mods. Like let's just not pretend that we just got light switches. Like a month, 2 months ago, right? Like it's just kind of like basic stuff that like I feel like the game should just, I don't know, have instead of us having to download CC. And honestly, I
Mm.
wouldn't have to download CC if they had really nice hair, fucking eyelashes, freckles that were not the size of pen drops, and kind of stuff like that. Now I know we talked a little bit about CC. What is your, do you have any favorite CC creators?
Mm, in what context? Is it build,
Anything.
cast, story?
Literally anything. Any of, because I have favorite build CC, I have favorite cast CC.
Mm.
I got favorite like pose CC. It's whatever you want. Do you have any creators that stand out to you?
Uh, well, there's the Devlers, there's the poses. They
Hmm.
have also have some cute dresses as well.
Oh yes.
Felixandre, Felixandre, something. Felixandre, the build is my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Um, I die without MC Command Center.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The pregnancy mod by Lou, the realistic pregnancy mod.
Okay.
I can't quite remember who's it by, but they're one of my favorite CC creators as well.
Nice. I'm trying to think. I like Enrique Hair. He's probably one of my favorites. He's my go-to for Alexa's hair for anything CC.
Ooh, melon sloth.
Melon
There's
Sauce is a good one. Um,
mm, mm,
I
mm,
I
mm.
also started downloading Sims Trouble's hair. Holy shit. Her hairs are fucking amazing. Because I know she's like, oh, like it's sorry, it's another curly hair. I will take curly dimensional hair because the curly hair in the Sims games are awful. Just
Ridiculous.
sorry.
Wasting
Oh yeah.
money,
Oh yeah.
time.
100%. Like they're just always so like they're one-dimensionally flat. There's no characteristics where you'll have like CC creators come in and they'll have like the little lowlights and the highlights, like actual real hair looks like. You will
Mm.
see those tiny little details. But before we switch over and talk about your story or just anything that you want to talk about when it comes to being a royal simmer, I know you build palaces. Why don't you talk to me from the progress from start to finish?
Well, I don't build that houses exactly. I
Mhm.
build houses. I build the shells and then rooms. Palaces
Okay.
are my specialty. I'm not that good at landscaping.
Girl, I've been playing The Sims. It will now be almost 20. No, it is 20 years. I've been playing The Sims now for 20 years. And I still cannot wrap my mind around fucking terrain.
Mm.
But anyway, so you build palace. What are your favorite aspects of building palaces?
Ooh. Throne rooms, bedrooms, staterooms. Is what I love doing.
Okay, just I know the other two, but what's a stateroom and how do you design it?
Well, imagine it like rooms that are used for royal occasions, such as ballrooms, dining
Oh,
rooms, throne
okay.
rooms,
Okay.
stuff like that. Drawing rooms, libraries, offices, bedrooms.
Okay. That
It's
oh
so hard to get them how you want it, whether they're detailed or not. Do
so
they have too much detail, too little detail, or need something else?
yeah, I see. I love those types of, especially in royal stores, because you can tell when they're sitting in like the giant hallway and everyone's doing their like there's like 85
Mm.
Sims on there.
Mm.
I love that. And then like you're talking about like ballrooms and stuff. Okay, as someone who has never made a ballroom in their life, what makes a good ballroom when you're making it?
The throne
The
and
throne.
the throne room,
The
as in the part, depending which chair, your color scheme, what vibe you're going for.
Okay. What's your favorite color scheme to do
Well,
when you're
it's
building a
all
throne room?
my favorite color is pink, of course, but I do like working with blue, with the royal colors, really.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 'cause
Blue, red, white, gold.
get even a nice purple in there, like a nice royal purple, like literally, like it's called royal purple. I
Blue is my most used one. Then it'd be gold and silver.
okay. Um, when you're talking about your throne chairs, do you use whatever EA provides us, or do you have CC ones that you
Hello.
like to use?
CC all the way.
CC all the way. I gotta after this, you gotta hit me up because I tell me where to go because I need an actual throne that's not the one that they have in Get Famous. Because that's the one I use all the time, and I'll just put up a pose pack. So like he'll be like the whoever's it will just be sitting there, but like I want an actual
Strange storyteller. That is the place to be, I think. Yeah, yeah. Strange storyteller.
okay. I will definitely check them out, and I'll put the link below as well for any storytellers or any royal storytellers that are listening to this podcast and want to check out Thrones. Link's gonna be below. Now, anyways, while we're talking on the royals, I mean, let's talk about. I know you're not a full-on royal storyteller, but let's talk
Well, I
about.
am. I try to. It's that writing stories is the harder part. Just coming up with the stories.
Yeah, I mean, do you mind if I give you some tips and tricks of
Go
something
ahead.
that I
I'll
find
have to take them.
yeah that I really have done, and then I'll talk about maybe about your process as well. So when it comes to storytelling, what I try to do is I try to build the world around me and to see, well, why would they act this way? Why would they say this? What's the situation? What are they doing? So like for an example, I'm writing a scene currently for book 3, and they are at a tournament. So like a jousting tournament. So why are they doing a jousting tournament? What are they celebrating? Is this a celebration? Because that's what these were back then. What are they celebrating? And then going down to it, well, who's there? What royal families are there? What drama can be there? And when it comes to scripts, so what I do is I'll even go through the process. I will close my eyes and I will visual the scene, and I'll visual the two characters talking. What are they talking about? Are they talking about saying at the tournament? Who are they excited to see? Are they interacting with the guest? Or are they doing with this? It's just kind of stuff like, what would you say in this situation? What would you do? Or and then I'll rate it. I'll take it. So say Alexa, Oliver, Jonas, just spoiling stuff, and just kind of stuff like that. Why are they talking to each other? What are they talking about? And it's just kind of like stuff like that. Or if I'm writing a really cute love scene, so I just really did like Alexa and Oliver finally saying that I love you to them. I literally sat it out like I was writing out their vows, like their wedding vows to each other, because it was their forever promise, right? So I think it's just kind of going in, seeing the character, building the world. So like for an example, it's a world of magic. So that's cool. Does magic solve everything? Is there disease still? If so, if there's disease, how do you cure disease? Is there famine? Is there hunger? Is there poverty? It's just those little bits of those little tiny details that will translate.
I'm breaking up.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, there we are. You just froze for a minute. My screen just keeps like jolting.
Oh yeah. Fortunately, pay a lot of money for this internet. Doesn't always work that great. But anyways, but like building the scene around you. So let's go back to the jousting tournament. Did they have to pay to get in? What's their currency? How do people pay? Is it gold? Is it silver? Is it shillings? It's kind of stuff like that. And then you're able to then when you're starting to write, you can then go, okay, so I'm writing a scene. Let's say Alexa and Oliver are at this jousting tournament. What are they talking about? They could be talking about they're excited to be there. Maybe they're not excited to be there. They're excited to see who's fighting. Maybe they're not excited to see who's fighting. It's just kind of however you want to tell the story. But how I started Rose Chronicles is I actually wrote the ending first because I thought that was really important to me to make sure to get the ending right. And then I worked backwards. to say, well, how am I going to get to this ending? Because the ending's not changing. The middle can change and the beginning can change, but the ending can never change. And then kind of again, like working backwards and then introducing fun characters and making sure every character I introduce is actually important to the story and making sure that it makes sense that they're there. Yeah, it's kind of like, and when it like again, I literally write it down. So I'll be like, photo 2, Alexa. Alexa is looking in the bathroom mirror and is not happy what she sees. Like I'll literally set the stage and then I'll write her mess. Like I literally write it like it's a movie script or like a television script. Like, and then you just kind of go through, and then once you're in there and you're about to put the words down, like let the sim sometimes be your creativeness and being able to let the creativity tell itself. Like I just took and kind of stuff like that. Did any of that advice help you?
Yes.
I'm glad. I'm very glad because
Thank you.
I love storytelling. I want to give everyone all the storytelling advice of just whatever the story you want to tell it, but make sure that you know the ending and in the middle and then the beginning. Because it's always important to make sure you know where your characters are ending up. Like I have a spreadsheet which I know which characters are going to die, which like, and then I have some characters like they're on the fence. Maybe they'll die. Maybe they will. I haven't 100% decided. It kind of comes down to the story of where I'm at. Am I done telling the story for these characters? Is there more to tell? Or has their story line up, right? And try to make deaths important. Because if you don't make deaths important, then when important characters die, it won't matter. It's kind of like the Game of Thrones logic. If so many people die, they won't care. But if you make deaths important, if you make deaths important, you're like, holy shit, like this main character died. Like, holy shit, like I didn't see that coming out of anywhere.
Oh, silly computer. Work.
Oh no, am I frozen again?
There we go. You're back.
Okay. There we go. Well, there we go. Well, is there any advice that you want to share? Like talk, I know writing can sometimes be a challenge. Is there any, like, what is your writing storytelling process?
Have a picture of what you want to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, of what you want to happen is the most important thing, I'd say. Like for me personally, I keep them all in my head. Like, sure, I'll write storylines down. I won't write down how you get to it because I just remember everything in my head.
See, if you write it down, then you'll be like, okay, so like they're gonna do X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, how are they gonna get to X, Y, and Z? And then it's like basically making a roadmap as well of being like, how did they get to here? Write it down to make sure that, because like I'm a huge person that I don't like plot holes. I try to avoid plot holes at all cost. Of just making sure like you write it down, you're good to go, and you figure it out. But I do like when you're like painting a picture. When it comes to storytelling, what is your favorite aspect of storytelling? Is it like romantic? Sorry?
Dressing them, the outfits. That's my most favorite part.
I could not agree more.
The outfits they wear.
I think clothing can tell a character's entire story. They don't even need to say one word, and you know exactly who they are by how they look. When it comes to dressing up your characters, what is your favorite aspect of dressing them up? Is it getting them in the ball gowns? Is it the hair? Like, talk to me about your favorite aspect of it.
I'm not gonna lie, my females are my favorite to dress.
Oh,
they are just, I could spend an hour, maybe 2, 3 on one. Oh, wait. Hang on. Sorry about that. Just got interrupted.
That's okay. Hey, I totally get it. Like especially when it comes to oh my goodness, I don't remember what I'm gonna say. Dressing up like female Sims. Oh my god, I could not agree more. I could spend hours and hours and hours. Just getting them like getting them into like whatever outfits, like because I'm notorious for spending 2 to 3 hours before I pick up on a chapter of Rose Chronicles of just getting them ready. um do you do the same as well? Do you spend hours getting them ready before you tell the story?
Yes.
Okay.
8.
Do
8.
you
No, 10 is the longest I think I've spent.
10 hours? Okay, what did you do in that 10 hours? Like, did you create a new sim from start to finish, or did you just give them
Yes,
makeovers?
families.
Oh my gosh.
I have 9 kingdoms, you see. For
Okay.
my my story gameplay, each with diverse cultures, finding
Mm-hmm.
the items, dressing them, having them to my standards for what I like them to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have certain facial features I like
Yeah,
that all want them to look a certain way.
absolutely.
I
What's
do
it
that
like?
by connecting them to families.
Of course. What is it like to manage 9 kingdoms? Like I can barely keep track of like 6 families, let alone kingdoms.
It's a nightmare, really. I mainly focus on one family, on one family, but I plan side stories for all the others. Like my
Mm-hmm.
main kingdom is Heart. Mm.
Oh, okay. So you said the main kingdom is Heart. Oh yeah, the kingdom Royals of Hearts. Yeah, because that's literally your name is the Royal of Heart.
Mm.
Talk about the Heart family.
Well, their official family thing is hang on, remembering it here, the Imperial family of the United Empire of Heart.
That's such a cool name. Like that's fucking awesome. Like that's so creative. Okay, so talk to me about them. Like who's in the family, who runs
Well,
the family.
we have a big family. It's the current emperor who will not be around for much longer, I'm sad to say, or part of the story progression,
Mm-hmm.
but is known as the grandfather of the Nine Crown Alliance. He has
Oh.
four he has 4 kids, two of which went on to marry royalty who are current monarch
Mm-hmm.
consorts. Then they have kids that have married into each family. And then of course his oldest son Philip, who is the heir, and then
Mm-hmm.
his son William and his daughter Lily are the next generations for Hart. But Philip's eldest daughter, Eleanor, who you may have seen on, who was shown briefly, well, for a while on on historical.royals. Hang
Okay.
on, I've got. I'll just find it. But was created for another account, but I've adapted into it.
Okay. And something I noticed as well, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Sims Royal Storytell community is very inclusive and like to do collabs. Am I right to feel that way?
Yes, I have one on the go at the moment.
Oh, that's exciting. Are you hosting the collab or are you sending
Yes.
Sims out? Or is this your first time ever hosting a collab?
Nope. I've hosted
No.
many, and
Oh.
many have failed.
Oh no.
Just for the lack of time or my game screwing up.
Oh, well, I've heard because I did a I just did an interview with Sims Royalty 22 and we were talking about collabs and how frustrating they can be because you're sending like 80 sim, like you'll have like 80 sims in your like one lot and the game just crashes as soon as you get everyone posed. Like I couldn't even imagine how stressful that can be. But you said you're currently doing a collab right now. Is there anything that you want to share about that?
Well, all I'll say now is that it's a multi-kingdom state visit.
That's awesome. So when it comes to like to visits, like what does that mean for storytell aspect?
Imagine it as a state visit, maybe with one kingdom, but mine's blown way out of context, and I've invited multiple kingdom, well, multiple accounts from
Mhm.
the different kingdoms. I've got most of them in game. I just need to take screenies. I'm just waiting on a few others to send the sims. And of course, it's getting my story started and then getting to that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. That's so cool though. Again,
12 events.
that's why I love this community so much because especially I'm really starting to learn a lot more about the royal community and how awesome you guys are, and not only just associating like multiple different cultures into your story, which is fucking amazing, and we need more of that in basic storytelling. But it's just like all the steps you guys do of like inviting, like I just find that so cool that like you'll have a sim show up in another story because it's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
connected
yeah.
world. Like I just fucking love that. That's just so awesome.
It's one thing that I enjoy. I think I have something like 20, just under 20 accounts taking part in this collab.
Oh my God, it's crazy. Is there any names you want to drop in this collab, who you're collabing with?
Sims Royalty 22, Sims Kingdom are also taking part in it.
Very nice. Podcast friends. Also excited to
Mm.
be hosting tomorrow's Royal.
Yes, yeah.
I'm excited for that. Apparently, it's the talk of the town and the Royals community of who will be there tomorrow and who will not be there.
Mm.
Everybody is welcome. I mean, at this point, this podcast is coming out in September, but everybody is welcome. Um, though that's awesome. So but you were saying you have recently sent out a Sims to, I think you said the historical Sims. Is that correct?
Uh, it was historical. Hang on, let me just find it because I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Historical.sims.addict.
Oh, yes. Yes. I think we're doing a story spotlight with, I think I'm doing a story spotlight with them. Again, I love that. That's so cool. So who did you send out there and what was the event?
Eleanor. Well, it was for a time I'd created Eleanor just for that, but then things happened,
Mm-hmm.
and with the story, the current emperor is Eleanor's son.
Oh, oh my God.
Yeah, Emperor Zhu Hongyang is Princess Eleanor's son.
Drama.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
She When she was on there, she was known as Heavenly Jade.
Can I ask why she was known as Heavily Jade?
I can't quite remember, but I think it was because of her beauty. I can't quite remember what he said it was.
Okay. No, that's cool. So what happens then? So is that sim now theirs, or do they come back to you with
No.
the knowledge of what happens and then that happens in your gameplay as well? Is that
Well,
correct?
well, for a while, she was over. Eleanor was over there in Zhu, and she was one of the wives of Emperor Zhu, if I
Mm-hmm.
remember rightly. They had a son. They had two sons and a daughter who've been shown recently, and the eldest son, her eldest son, is Hongyang. But after the whole thing of Emperor Zhu's death, the Empress Dowager sent Eleanor back to Heart.
Oh. That's so,
Asked if Eleanor could return because I didn't want her to get harmed.
yeah. I That's interesting. That's interesting. Huh. Again, fucking Roy's dog. You're talking about not having crypt. I could have never come up with that storyline in a million and a fucking year. I would never come up, but I think that's the beauty part of being a royal storyteller,
Yeah.
that you can always just it's just so fun.
Mm.
And
And
you
things have
can
changed as well. Because, like, with Eleanor now, I'd say she's been back in Heart about 6 years on my time on my story, and I'm going
Mhm.
to be introducing her family very soon.
So like
But what I'll
how
say is that they now have four. After she returned to Heart, she
Mhm.
took up an ex fling with an ex boyfriend, Tsarevich Nikolai of Eversberg. So then, of course, when they came back about less than a year, they got married,
Mhm.
and like a few months later, they welcomed triplets, a daughter and two sons.
Oh my goodness.
There's Princess Grand Duchess Anastasia, who will take over after her father, will be the first Tsarina. Then there's Grand Duke Alexei and Grand Duke Anton,
Holy shit.
who will
See,
be children in the current storyline. And then they have another daughter, Alina.
that's oh
No,
fuck.
no, Alina, and yeah, Alina.
That, oh my God. See, I'm excited. See, this like these are types of storylines that like everybody who likes any amount of drama can get attached to because you want to know what happens. You want to know like, well, what's gonna happen when they come back, or what are their sons gonna get up to, or oh my god, they had twins. Like what, like how does that fall along in the storyline? No, that's fucking awesome. Well,
Anya will have her own side story. Well, Anastasia, but I call her Anya because her name's long to say.
quick question before I got more questions for you guys, but quick question. How do you come up with all of the character names? Out of curiosity, I use name generators. Do you use name generators, or are these
Names I get
inspirations from other
offline,
shit?
but I have also taken inspiration from past events. Like
Okay.
my world, my mind is just wacky.
Do you
9
want to
different kingdoms, 9 different cultures, 9 different types of names,
yeah. So like
9 kingdoms, Hart, British,
yeah.
Eversberg, like I said, is Russian. Yeah, hang on. Sealy, that's Scottish stroke Welsh.
Okay.
Haldrin is Egyptian / African, Indian and Arabic. Guangbao is Asian. Sage Valley is American and Canadian. Sulan Atlas is Hawaiian and Polynesian. Luminosa is Spanish, and Portuguese, and Leon is French.
Okay. That's so okay. I have to ask, as someone who's Canadian, what is it like to be in that world in your story? Do you take aspects of being Canada / American, or is it all completely whatever you want it to be?
Whatever I want it to be, really. I'm not really. They're going to be background sims for Sage Valley. The Principality of Sage Valley will be more of a background family.
Okay. They're
Will
just
be
there.
shown attending events with all the other monarchs, attending meetings, state occasions.
Okay, yeah. So they're just kind of like not like NPCs. They're just kind
Yeah,
of like they're kind of just there.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got you.
But I hope to give little Prince Elliot, who's the heir, his own story.
What
But
what
it'll
what
be a side story, and it might tie into another story.
out of curiosity, what would it be? Or if you don't know, it's okay.
Well, I'm thinking, from my notes, I haven't really come up with a story yet.
Okay.
But I'm thinking of he will be a toddler. Elliot, Crown Prince Elliot is the only son of hereditary Prince James. No, Jackson. I mean, so many names. And hereditary Princess Rachel. They have two. He has 2 sisters who are adopted, Princesses Neve and Misty.
Huh. I hope you do that because I would like to read that side story again. I like to read all of your guys' stories. Now, anyways, Mike, I got a couple core questions for you, and then we're gonna wrap up this interview.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to anybody wanting to start off their own royal story account?
Don't let anyone decide what you want, what dictate how your story should be. Do it how you want it to be.
I think that is such amazing advice. I know a lot of sim storytellers get a lot of flacks from their fans of
I've had those as well, with a past storyline I was playing, but it didn't work out, but I created a better story and introduced a better family, which is what I'm doing at the moment.
yeah, like Megan, again, I think that's such amazing advice. Do what you want and fuck everybody else. If they don't like the storyline, bye.
Like
Move
there's
on.
some accounts who've had drama in the past. I'm not going to name anyone, but I'm not going to say anything more.
That's fair. Hey,
because it's been said that's gone.
Yeah. Hey, I'm totally here for it. But
yeah,
hey, great advice. Listen to Megan. Do whatever you want. Just if someone gives you drama, they'll move on. I've had it. I tell people if you don't like this direction I'm telling the story, I am not changing the storyline just for you. If you don't like it, there's
If
millions of other
it's got
story accounts to find to read. So
if it's got tragic events in it, like maybe a death or a kidnapping or something traumatic that others, make sure you have trigger warnings.
another good note as well, make sure to have trigger warnings. I'm gonna add an asterisk to that. If you're having sim sex scenes, please put trigger warnings, because Simstagram is known for sex scenes, and some of us do that as our side job at work, and nothing is as good as when your boss is behind you and you see a full-on sim sex scene and he has so many questions of to how he got to this life choice. Okay, so please please put those 18As if you're showing some titties. That's all I'm asking.
I'll put nudity warnings.
Yeah, and nudity warning, literally anything. But Megan, final question for you: is there anything exciting, an awesome collab that you're working on? This podcast isn't actually coming out till, I know this is gonna sound crazy, till September. Is there anything
Till
between now?
September.
Yeah, that's how far these are out now. From now to
Wow.
September, is there anything that you're working on?
Well, by then, Lily is my main heir.
Okay.
Is my main story, but I have not, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 underway.
12 kingdoms or 12 storylines?
12 storylines, but hang on, 1, 2, 3, 8 of them are side stories and are possibly going ahead, possibly not. That's all I'll say for now.
Wow. Well, I'm definitely excited. I will stay tuned throughout. And I know it's a little far out, but please, please, please go check out Megan. Megan, where can we find you?
Well, I'm over on Instagram is my main source at the moment, but I am working on a royal wiki page, a royal page.
On a fan, is it called fandom? Is that
Yes.
oh fandom? Yeah, that's fucking every storyteller needs to be on there because it's so good, because you can just go there and get references anytime. But you said you're on Instagram. What is your Instagram channel name?
Royals of Heart.
Royals of Hearts. Do you mind spelling that for everybody?
It's all no spaces, all all lowercase. ROYY. Let me start that again. Brain fart.
It's okay.
ROYALSOFHEART.
Perfect. Please go check out Royal of Hearts. The link is going to be below as well. I just like to ask to spell it out because some people say, Stas, I don't know who it was. That's why we get it spelled out. But Megan, it has been an absolute pleasure sitting down and getting to talk to you today, to learn a little bit more about your story. And I'm excited to have you back tomorrow for the Royal Roundtable with lots of royal storytellers. And let's get this Royal Tellers Sims community some fucking love. Let's try to spotlight you guys. You guys are awesome. And you guys deserve some more time in the sun.
Sorry if the screen's been shaking a lot. It's got a bad signal.
That's okay. Actually,
we have a lot of trucks going past, which shake the house.
Well, you know what? You fooled me, because the screen's never shaken once. So at least on my side that I couldn't notice. But anyways, Megan, it has been an absolute pleasure to get to know you a little bit better today and getting to know more about your story. And I'm excited to see what your storyteller future holds.
Me too. I look forward to it then.
Yes, of course. Well, you have a great rest of your night, okay?
Thank you.